Amanda, what would your response be to a dealership who said, it's really difficult to attract and recruit great people in the automotive industry?
I would probably say to them, is it? Because I think that if you have a good process in place, then you can attract all styles of people into an automotive arena. And, I guess what I mean by that is that, what's the process that you use? Is there a particular process that they're using? Their particular, computer programs, softwares that they're implementing to try and make those decisions for them. For me, it's all about trying to find the right person the first time. So it's very much trying to get a small pool of people rather than a great big barrel of people. And by doing that, for me personally, I use a particular software that helps me shortlist through then getting a very select few people to then interview, and hopefully from there I can select someone to fill a role. And I think as a dealership group we've been really successful doing that, and in a lot of cases we get the right person the first time. I guess when I first came into the business there wasn't really much of a employment process. There was an individual manager that would, run an ad. There would be a series of just interviewing anyone that applied. There wasn't really any process to shortlist for the right person for that role. There was a lot of unconscious bias, so people would read a resume, make an assumption from a resume, and then choose on whether or not they wanted to interview them, rather than remove any unconscious bias and have an opportunity to meet those also outside of the automotive industry. So when I started, we put together, a process where we could actually interview a whole lot of different people from a lot of different sectors, not just the automotive arena, because I think the automotive industry as a whole has been quite immature, and we've spent a lot of time recycling staff through dealership to dealership, where I think as a business now, a lot of our most recent employees have no automotive background at all. And the software that we have utilised has helped us achieve that.
What would your response be to someone from a dealership who said, it seems near impossible to reduce employee turnover?
For me, it's all about the culture. But it is, again, I would go back to say, well, what's your employment process like? Because you're obviously employing the wrong people in the first instance if you've got a high, staff turnover. I guess I would recommend having a look at how long people are in the business before that kind of turnover is happening. Is it over 3 months? Is it within a probationary period of 6 months? Or is it yearly? So I guess the tenure of how long they're staying in the business. And I guess if it's short, it's the employment process. We've improved massively. It's not perfect, and I wish it was a perfect world, but it's actually not a perfect world. I think there's always going to be some natural turnover that happens across the business as a whole, but we certainly have reduced our turnover over the last 5 years. I think, again, having a structured employment process has helped with that. Having a formal induction for our employees. So we have an induction day for our employees, and then we have an onboarding process as well that goes for the first 3 months of everyone's employment. So I think there are a whole lot of things that you can utilise or put together as a business to help reduce your staff turnover.
What would your response be to someone from a dealership who said, retaining top employees is a real challenge in this industry?
And that's, for me, my opinion is that's about the culture. That's about the environment we create. That's about the work, like the opportunities of what we can create within a business. So, for example, we have facilitated flexible working hours. So we do an E&E, employment and engagement survey, which we hold yearly. And if we don't do it yearly, we'll do it every 2 years. And through that survey, we do a little bit of a you said, we did. Now, through our last E&E, we had some great feedback in relation to the long hours that our salespeople work and how difficult that can be, having that work-life balance. So I guess we looked at that and thought, well, do we need everyone here at 8:30 and do we need everyone here at 6 o'clock? So when I talk about how we have reduced our staff turnover, helped reduce the amount of sales staff in particular across our dealership group, by implementing flexible working hours has certainly made our business more attractive for new employees to want to participate.
What would your response be to someone from a dealership who said, women have a hard time fitting into our business?
Then I think they need to look at their diversity and their gender within the business, and what have they implemented or what do they have in place that A, invites women into their business, that B, keeps women in their business, and then C, the women then promote their business as a great place for females to work. So I think as a business we've worked incredibly hard in that space, and particularly over the last 12 months. We have created a much better gender balance within our business. Again, it's not a perfect world and we're not there yet, but we've had a great increase over the last 12 months to even 2 years. So I would say that, again, it's about the process that you use. It's about being able to implement opportunities that invite women and make us a dealership where women want to work. We want to put ourselves on Facebook and show the amount of volume of women in the business and how happy we are, and the success pathway as well. So we don't want to keep women in the back. We want everyone to have an equal opportunity of being able to also have those higher level management positions as well. You can go back to the whole platform of employment. How do you employ someone, the process. So I very much will write an advert and make it gender neutral. So I will use a tool that anyone can access on the internet, and I'll run all our adverts through there to ensure that I have a lot of female words that attract females to the advert. So they're not masculine written. So I try and keep them as gender balanced as possible. In fact, at times I'll write a lot of female words because in particular, sometimes I might particularly want a female in a role. So I'll work really hard to make sure it's really inviting. Since I have used the gender decoder, I certainly have had more women apply. In particular, when I look at a sales role, far more women now apply to our sales positions than they did previously.
What would your response be to someone from a dealership who said, we're a customer-focused operation, flexibility doesn't work for us?
I think that they should get into the millennium that we live in, is what I think. I'm a mum of 4. I've been in the automotive industry for over 30 years. I have certainly come from the era of being very male dominated, not really having any flexibility, to now working in the automotive arena where it's exciting and there's opportunity, and those days of the past where we had to wear our hours like a badge of honour on our chest, they're gone. I think that if you want to attract good people, then you have to be open to be able to provide a great level of opportunity, work-life balance, to have that door become ajar where people want to poke their nose in and then enter. For example, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, but for example, we have a staff, women in this particular case that have gone on maternity leave. We will create flexible working hours that there's a platform where they can either work from home. So we'll facilitate that opportunity where some hours can be done from home, as well as the possibility of coming and working on site as well. So you don't have to go on mat leave and at the end of 12 months, you've got to come back, or the end of 2 years now, come back or otherwise, oh my God, I'm not going to have a job. Because great people are hard to find, and we really respect that. So we want to be able to create those environments, and that's why in particular I'm talking about women that want to re-enter the workforce at the end of their mat leave. So they're the style of, things that we do. Again, I talked about the flexible working hours, so our sales staff can start late or finish early, and it gives them that opportunity. The other day I was talking to one of our sales staff, and the fact that she can leave early to get home and participate in one of her kids' sporting activities is really important. And she wouldn't be able to find that in every single dealership across Melbourne. So I like to think we're a little bit different, and we're going to create those opportunities so people want to knock on our door and work for us. One of the great stories that I love sharing about our business is when I first started, we didn't have any female representation in our workshop. So over the last 5 to 7 years, we now are very fortunate as a business to have 3 female technicians in our workshop. One of our female technicians is fully qualified now, which is really exciting. So she's on a new journey now and hopes to be a diagnostic technician, which is great. But in particular, our other two female technicians are our new apprentices, and they're both doing a fab job. In particular, one of our young ladies had applied for quite a long period of time within the automotive arena, trying to secure an apprenticeship. And during that time was totally unsuccessful. For a total of 7 years, she applied multiple times per year to dealerships as well as smaller workshops and had no success. And it was all because there was this bias, because people felt as though she was a girl, how could she possibly work in a workshop, and what could you do that could anywhere be possible as good as what they can do? However, when we gave her the opportunity, she has just absolutely embraced it. She's thrilled to be here every single day. She fits in with the culture of our business. And our girls in the workshop have certainly changed the whole feel within the workshop. So there is a real nurturing platform now that our male technicians have really enjoyed the opportunity of helping our female technicians to be as good or even better than what they are. So, I think it's one of our great success stories, and I hope to continue that and add some more females and end up with, it'd be really great to have a whole 50-50 balance and take away all that unconscious bias that, I think particularly the technician side of our business, or details, because I also have a great female detailer within our Shine Centre, which is also really fabulous as well. So working really hard in that space too to create more platforms for everybody.